The Minimalist CEO Podcast. One focused power system, 8 radical shifts, how to unleash your calling through the gifts formula, overcoming obstacles with the excuse removal blueprint, and the recipe for living and leading your ultimate thriving life and business.
Hey, why does everyone have to be so serious? This stuff's fun. Now let's get to it.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
With over 3 decades of business building, 2 decades as contract CEO, mentoring billion-dollar companies, entrepreneurs, startups, and everything in between. Known as the Minimalist CEO, this guy has helped cut the fat, grow revenue in hundreds of companies by teaching how to integrate life and business, work less, and love life as the way to win.
I'm Nate Lindquist, the Minimalist CEO, and also your Sherpa on this little journey. So let's dive in. Hey, what's going on? Nate Lindquist here with the Minimalist CEO podcast, and we are in episode number 41. So welcome to the show. We're going to be introducing you to just a powerhouse in the HVAC space, Jason Johnson. This guy's done it. He's done turnarounds. He's run his own HVAC company. He currently runs one that he's scaled like crazy. In not even a year, he's already well into the 7 figures. And the story is amazing. But the reason for this episode is we have a great announcement about some of the projects that we're working on with Jason and something exciting that's coming up. So if you're in the HVAC space, one of the hardest working people in the service industry, or you're in business and you just want to learn some crazy techniques about having great teams, making great money, serving your customers, and finding a way to love what you're building in your business while doubling, tripling, just really scaling your profits. And also learn how to stop undercharging and have, that whole, how am I going to find qualified help and talented techs, have that problem go away, learn how to have a waiting list of people wanting to work for you because they're the highest paid techs in your area and you actually don't have to worry about what you're paying them. They know how to earn as much as they want. So you're going to learn that in here. Jason's brilliant. He's done amazing things. Super, super honored to have him on the show. He's known as the HVAC Buddha. He's just super chill. And if you need some chill in your HVAC company and you want to have some chill that's tied to making more cash, this is the episode for you. So enjoy the episode, enjoy meeting Jason Johnson, and I will see you on the show. Enjoy. Hey, what's going on? I wanted to quickly shout out a big thank you and give some attention to bonefrogwarrior.com. Again, bonefrogwarrior.com, our sponsor. The Bone Frog is one of the most iconic images to honor a fallen U.S. Navy SEAL, and the Bone Frog Warrior is a veteran-owned company. They've created amazing apparel. They're honoring veterans. They're partnered with charities, especially Trucking for Troops, and donating a portion of their proceeds to help support veterans in need in very difficult situations. So check out bonefrogwarrior.com. You got to check out their apparel, their different designs. When you see the designs on their t-shirts and sweatshirts and all the other gear that they have, you'll be inspired, you'll want to wear it. I know Jeff, the founder, who's a former Navy SEAL himself, sent me some beautiful shirts to try on and to wear and enjoy, and you'll see for sure, you'll see them on our YouTube channel on the show for the Minimalist CEO podcast on YouTube. But check out bonefrogwarrior.com, buy some of their gear, give it as a gift, and support and honor our troops. Thanks a lot. Hey, what's going on? Nate Lindquist here, the Minimalist CEO, and welcome to the 41st episode of the Minimalist CEO podcast, where we identify what's essential, where we like to break things, especially industries. And this is an awesome opportunity for anyone in business because there's going to be a lot of meta, a lot of parallels that you can look at. So not just thinking about the main industry that we're talking about today, but understanding how it applies to your business, how it applies to your life. So maybe you're an inspired business builder. Maybe you have a business that you want to change something, get better results. The idea is strip away the extra, get focused on what's essential, and really deconstruct what it takes to get the results you want, but also to feel the way you want while you're building your business, while you're creating the life that you love. So welcome to the episode. I'm so excited about this. We're going to be talking today about the HVAC industry nightmare. And it's a heck of an introduction here because I'm sitting here with this incredible dude. Let me tell you a little bit about him before I tell you because you'll start looking him up. But this guy has built HVAC companies from scratch, helped them grow all the way up to $60 million and counting at this point. He's worked with some of the toughest situations. He's called on as a consultant when some of these bigger firms, organizations all the way across the board are running into trouble. They don't know what to do, and we got the guy who's been there. What's great is some great commonality here because it's a turnaround situation. So I've been in building turnarounds. This guy's been building turnarounds and helping businesses when they're near bankruptcy, when they're not making the progress they want to make, when they're making great progress but they want to go faster, and they want to enjoy it more and be more fulfilled because there's this massive, you're going to know just from hearing him, there's this massive human quality and this purpose of helping other humans that he and I have in common. And I give myself too much credit. Just want you to welcome Jason Johnson. Jason, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So quick little background here. What are you up to right now? And what is it that, what do you think about the HVAC industry nightmare?
Yeah. So my name is Jason Johnson, former heating contractor, getting back into the heating business and also doing consulting. Just enjoy helping people in any way that I can. The heating and air nightmare is one that we've all been in, whether it's in the heating business or Nate's been in it with several businesses, marketing. It doesn't matter what business you're in.
Any service business.
Any service business, if you're dealing with people, there's nightmares, and they're all very common, what we've come up with in our time together. I
mean, if we go down the list, we made a list here because like we faced them all. Jason, you've seen them all. I mean, you got I have no freedom. I started a business because I wanted to have freedom. I'm working 100 hours, which I don't know if that's true, but I'm worried 100 hours. I'm attached to my phone 100 hours, and I'm working for myself at 100 hours, so I don't have to work 30 or 40 hours for someone else.
Right, exactly. And then you start your business because you think you're going to make way more money and have more freedom, and all of a sudden you don't have both, and it gets very frustrating.
Yep. If I were to run down the list, and you could just riff on each, let's go like high speed. Let's do like 10 or 15 seconds on each item. So how about this? Money worries. Does that ever happen in HVAC?
Every day it happens. I'm not charging enough. Am I charging enough? I'm paying my guys too much. Are they making enough? Are their families okay? None of that stuff matters. I
think the disappointing thing too that we've both seen, and I've worked with HVAC companies. Jason came in actually as a client, believe it or not, which we can talk about that in a little bit. But like, I've learned a ton from Jason about the industry, and I've also seen a lot of owners don't actually like who they're being, because when it becomes a money problem, now you're worried about other people. It's like, you know what, I'll do whatever it takes to make money, and it becomes this obsession with how do you 10x your business. And I think we all know what that is. There's nothing wrong with wanting to 10x your business, but I think when it becomes an absolute obsessed focus with making money, owners don't like who they're being. I've been there at times. If I look several years ago, I'd wake up in the morning and be like, okay, how am I going to hit the next number? I look at my KPIs, I look at my balance sheet, I look at my forecast, I look at our sales numbers, look at our leads, look at all my business systems, and I'm like, I don't like the numbers. I want more money. And we don't like who we're being. So that's another big one. Can you speak to that? I mean, Jason, you've been in the industry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the mindset should be I want to 10x my customer satisfaction and employee satisfaction, as opposed to 10x my pocketbook, because I've learned in life that the more you give, the more you get. So, yeah. And Nate, we've talked about this in pretty deep conversation.
That will never end. We have this. I'm gonna blast through this list, and then I'm gonna tell you we got a pretty big announcement, a huge announcement. If you're in a service business, if you're in, especially if you're in the HVAC business, but it doesn't matter which business you're in, Jason and I have decided to collaborate on something really, really special. Think about the biggest challenges that you have and all the stuff that you've learned over the years, being in the business, reading books, looking at some of the industry leaders, talking about all this advice and coaching and consulting. And there's people who are doing, they'll tell you about their hundreds of millions of dollars, but you can tell they're more interested in selling you a new business systems plan or getting you pumped up and motivated on coaching. And what they don't do is they don't get down to like, when you wake up in the morning and you have that confusion, you don't know like, what am I gonna do today? And how am I gonna keep this thing going every day? Well, Jason and I have put together something really, really special for you if that's something you love some help with. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that as well. All right, let's bomb down the list real quick. So there's a myth that making more money or going after more money gives you freedom. So let me say this, you get a bunch more jobs, maybe you're taking on 24/7 emergency service, maybe you're growing your company, you need more trucks, you need more team members, you need more payroll, you need more overhead, you have more stress, more drama, more people underperforming and making mistakes. So, time to make more money, let's focus on making more money. How's that freedom going? What do you think, Jason?
Not so well usually. The busiest guys in town are usually the cheapest guys in town that can't expand because they don't have the money to do so, and they have the unhappiest employees out there.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's move to the next one then. Let's look at the finish line mentality. So once I hit $1 million a year, once I hit $2 million a year, once I hit $10 million a year, once we've worked with companies all the way up to over $150 million a year, and they say, then I'll be happy. But the problem is, you start over here with this massive frustration and desire for money. Then you have this big destination, and somewhere along the way, you're just getting through it, going after the money, yelling at your team members, trying to deal cash flow issues, and then one day you wake up at 50, 60, 70 years old. Guy I talked to the other day, 69 years old, he said, I'm trying to come up with a game plan so we can really get the money where we want. And here's the thing that happens. What happens if you wake up with a bag of money at 70 years old and you hated the process, or even worse, you're so committed and disciplined and willpower and focused like a freight train that you didn't have life along the way? So there's this finish line problem of, great, you got a bunch of money. Go to a funeral sometime, look at that bag of money and say, hey, are they putting any of that into the coffin, and what value does it have where he's going? So again, I'll give you could take your 15, 20 seconds, Jason. Yeah. What's that look like?
Yeah, I mean, having a big bag of money going down in the ground, or do you want 50 people sitting there sad that you were gone and the impact you made in their lives? That's what matters in life. Experiences in life matter. Money doesn't matter. If you do the right thing and help people, the money will come, and you won't even recognize money because it's not about money.
Yeah, it's a byproduct, but what's cool is, as a measuring stick, you just said it. You get the coolest customer. I've always referred to Jason as the HVAC Buddha. He's like, he understands that the people, the humans in the business, when that becomes a priority, not just the customers, it's the humans, their families, the ripple effect. When you make that the focus, and I'm not talking like lip service, I'm talking there's specific steps you put in place that we'll get to in a little bit, but where you actually make humans how they feel and how you feel as the owner the priority, it just changes the game. All right, we'll move on to the next level, the next problem. Let's see. Okay, we went over, you don't charge enough. I think that's obvious. But you shared a little bit of a story about you're not charging enough, and you'd shared a couple ideas around that. Not charging enough. What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, what happens is people think that everyone do everything off of price in this industry. They think that I can just charge a little bit less and keep my guys busier, when we don't work in a volume business. Amazon is a volume business. We are not a volume business. The more volume we do, the more it costs us to do. So we can't do more work and make more money. We have to be efficient and do it the proper way. Not knowing what your costs are, how much your guys cost per hour, all that type of stuff. That's important stuff. And it's also stuff that I show my guys, and I've always shown my guys what they cost an hour, because most people think that everything's too expensive, and if they can't afford it, they don't think that the homeowners can afford it. So
you had a great story when we were talking earlier, and maybe you could share that a little bit.
Yeah.
You met with a company, and what happened? They were at how many hundreds of service visits did they have, or appointments, customer appointments, and then you shared an example of your appointments, and you
tell us. So we had a company that we're doing some consulting for, and we were setting up and we were kind of comparing notes, and we went over the number of calls that we ran versus our revenue, and then he asked us to share our number of calls with revenue versus his, and we were 150 less calls and almost $900,000 more in revenue, with 1/3 of the overtime that he had. So just a huge savings on money, huge savings on people's time, huge savings on the technicians' wellness, well-being, their family time. So just proof that you can do more with less, with properly trained technicians and happy technicians, and making it all about them and the customers.
So as part of our big announcement, we're going to be talking to people about how, as an owner in a service business, and especially in HVAC, again, that's what the focus is of this particular episode, we're going to talk to you about how you can have the highest paid technicians in the industry where it makes you money, where it doesn't cost you more money. It actually makes you more money by having the highest paid technicians in the industry. So quick snapshot, how is that possible? How do you have the highest paid technicians in the industry?
It's a little thing I call the income potential calculator and piece pay in the industry. So we pay our guys enough that if they work 3 days a week, we know that they're going to survive. If they work 4 days a week, they're having a good week. And if they work 5 days a week, they're making great money and they're very happy doing what they're doing. And the company never suffers. The company doesn't lose. We have it set up so that everyone wins, and that's what we want. Is we want the customer to have a great job. We want the employees to have a happy place to work, and we want the managers to have great employees to manage without an expectation of when are you going to be done with this job? How come it's taken so long? Those conversations don't happen at our company.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're also talking about while you're recruiting, you're trying to retain incredible talent, get the right technicians, and that's been a huge problem. Literally, I just had 6 conversations with HVAC companies, and Jason and I have teamed up in a really special way in a really special project. And what we're hearing is that, oh my gosh, there's so much stress. How are we going to we can't find good help. And there's this sort of industry standard for how much a year you're supposed to pay HVAC technicians. So I'm gonna say, like, what are you seeing as, what are HVAC technicians getting paid on average, just from what you're seeing? What are they asking for? And then what's the potential? And we don't have to get into exact specifics, but I mean, just in general, because a little bit of background, Jason actually owns multiple HVAC companies that he's brought together under one roof and one brand, and has become an expert in that space. I've also gotten involved with his business and helped him as we've collaborated, and we've created something really magical. But if you could just kind of go back to that, like, what are they getting paid? And everybody wants more money. How do you deal with the problem of, well, I want this much money, but how can the company afford to pay me that much money?
Yeah, it's a very simple solution. Is you got to know your costs. So if you know what each employee costs you and what your overhead is, you can set up your company through your CRM, or even if you're a paper person, I can show you on paper how to
the spreadsheet,
tell you
right?
guys tell you guys what to charge. So we did the income potential calculator, and basically with the income potential calculator, you tell me what your hourly rate is. So I want to make $25 an hour, and then we have 5 items that we ask each employee. Here's the 5 items, and then they tell us what they can do for each one of those 5 items, and then at the end it has the total of what you make. We have guys that make $20 an hour that make $85,000 a year. We have guys that make $25 an hour that make $150,000 a year. So the other thing that it does is that it allows you to manage them because they told you what they could do. So most people come and tell you they can do the world, and you just assume they can do it. Now all of a sudden you're going down the rabbit hole of chasing them around, wondering if they're doing their job. If you go to someone and they say, I said I could do 5 cleaning checks in a week, and they do 4, then they failed at 1 cleaning check in a week. You told me you could do 5. Now my managers know what to manage to.
Yeah, and also now how important is training to help a team member improve? Just back up. I want to back up a second. You have a direct correlation now between how they get hired, how much they make, and the overall performance of top line revenue and bottom line profits in the company, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So now we have these 5 categories, and these 5 categories we know what to train to. So every technician, when it's slower out, we have technicians ride together that are low on level 1 and high on level 5, so that we can have them meet in the middle somewhere. And it creates a beautiful thing because we have guys that want to get better. They want to better each other. It's a healthy competition, not I'm better than you, or I sold this guy this, or I sold this guy that. It's I help these people in this way. How can I help you?
Yeah, and now what we're seeing is HVAC technicians are actually seeking skills training. There's these 5 core factors that are part of improving their skill set and their ability to hit the numbers they want. When they hit their numbers, it's not because you told them to. It's because they're getting where the company knows where these employees want to go. And it's like you said, it's a beautiful thing. They know what their goal is, and they also now have a mechanism inside the company. So they're seeking more training. They're seeking more growth. And here's the beautiful part, they're not blaming the company for pushing them. They're not saying this, God, the company's pushing me to make more sales. The company's pushing me to maybe be out of integrity and try to sell stuff in my head before I actually diagnose a problem, which is a huge problem in this country. People, when the chips are down and the money is the most important thing, sometimes people don't do things in private that they'd be happy to, that they think is the right thing because they think no one's watching. And that's integrity is either 100% or it's nothing. 99% is not integrity.
Right, it's on or off. There's no percentages of integrity except for 100 or 0.
Exactly. Exactly. So what we're talking about is the nightmare in the HVAC industry is a bunch. You can see the ads online right now. Okay. I don't have to name names, but I bet you could. There's big names talking about how you can 10x your business, and they talk about amazing, brilliant systems, and they're helping companies make more money. But what's missing on top of this, there's a way to make more money and be incredibly fulfilled in your life, to have a team that's pulling together, where you got your whole team working together and looking out for each other. You're talking about reduction of mistakes by 80%. We're looking at the numbers. You're talking about team members lifting each other up, looking out for each other. It's like the business is starting, the team members are starting to train each other. The team members are starting to support each other. And it's like they're self-upgrading, because there's this culture of, you know what, when we get really good at hitting our goals and loving who we're showing up as, the business starts to take care of itself, which leads to something else that's magic. Imagine having Fridays off, 3-day weekends as an owner within 90 days, or say it's about 3 months to 6 months. Imagine taking steps where consistently you don't walk into your office and say, or your shop and say, what am I going to do today? You start asking better questions like, wait a minute, why am I even here? Why does this matter? And you remember why it matters, and you know whose lives it's going to help. And you think about your team members, and you think about kids that are sleeping in high temperatures, and you think about they need our help. It's like you move from being an HVAC company to being a rescue mission during reasonable working hours. Right. Yeah. So we're breaking the industry, and we're bringing together this amazing group of other owners, because it's not a competition. It's a collaboration. I want to share a little bit of the story of like how Jason and I got together real quick, and maybe a little bit of your background, if you wouldn't mind sharing that. And talk about like why we're on this mission and the kinds of things we're seeing out there in the marketplace. If you just want to kind of a little bit of your background, a little bit of what we're seeing.
Yeah, so I've been in the heating industry for 25 plus years. I love it. I don't know that I love the heating and air portion of it, but I love the helping people portion of it, which I just chose heating and air as my way to help people.
It's like the vehicle.
Yeah. So.
How many hours are you working in the business, even though you own a bunch?
I would say probably 24 hours a week is about what I put in for, and that includes a construction company. So I have 3 companies. I do about 24 to 32 hours some weeks. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And you're loving it.
I don't hate it. That's for sure. Life is good.
Yeah. And you had a company that you sold at one point.
Yeah.
So you've been able to sell.
Sold the company, and actually, I'm sure people in the industry can level with me on this one. I lost a wife to the HVAC industry, so it was a terrible thing, and it was a beautiful thing. So my famous line is "beautiful things," so you know.
Well, there's a lot of. So I've had with our team, our entire team, we're reaching out to just find as many HVAC business owners who are struggling, who are frustrated, who are worried about the money, to be able to say, listen, this can be an awesome adventure. It can feel like a weekend freaking hunting trip, having fun. Going into the business doesn't have to be slogging through it. And we're on a mission to be like, hey, listen, your purpose is more important than, making more money. When you get that clear, you can be fulfilled the whole way. And what we're noticing is that there's this awesome opportunity to really get on a whole new mission, to enjoy what you're doing. And the money's the byproduct. Like, you can love what you're doing, and the money is the byproduct. So it's not a it's not a competition. It's not like, how can I go look at HVAC websites. They're all the same. Right. They got a logo, they got a service list, they talk about the brand they love. There's a place to get 24/7 support, or put in a form or make a phone call now to get help now. We'll send someone out. We care so much. But it's like everybody's going to need an HVAC company. Everyone's going to need someone to come out there and help. But how can we make sure that we're not just one more company trying to grow, stressing ourselves out, and having no quality of life on the journey? So I jumped in, but okay, so what's the journey that you're on right now?
Yeah, so now we're doing heating and air conditioning with several locations. We're doing consulting from $500,000 shops to $40 million to $60 million shops to you name it in between, through the CRMs, through our operations. So we do a lot of consulting. Again, it's all about helping people and making it a great experience for everybody. So everywhere we walk into, they love to see us. We have a great name in the industry, and there's plenty of work out there for everyone to have. So it's not like we're taking away from anyone. We're just enhancing the experience and hoping we lift other people up around us, not put them down.
Yeah. What I've seen is, and what we've both seen, this is what brought us together. I'm going to tell you what we decided to do. First of all, I'll just jot this down. Write down. What do we come up with? Oh, there it is. Freedom at HVACTeamDelta.com. So just, there's an email. If you want some help in the subject line, just write, I want freedom. And because there's a tendency to sign up, make a huge investment to hope that you can get some more information. And what we want to do is move from more information and more obsession with money and more of that stress and anxiety that you feel right here to grow your business into moving from that survival mode into success mode, which is, how do I want to feel? To start asking the right questions and start to create a story where you building your business is giving you more freedom, where you don't have to get a bunch of information and now you got to watch, I don't know, anywhere from 20 to 60 hours of videos, and you're like, nothing's changing. So imagine having, you're talking about with your shift. Okay, let me tell you what we've done. We've built a company called HVACTeamDelta. So you can go to HVACTeamDelta.com, and what you're going to do is you're going to be able to talk about what it is that's stressing you out. Talk about where the challenges are. Maybe it's recruiting, maybe it's cash flow, maybe it's feast or famine, maybe you're just overwhelmed, you're burning out, everything falls on you, team member mistakes. Maybe you're worried about inventory. Imagine having an inventory. We're going to show you how you can have inventory pay you the longer you have it. You earn money for it, so you can actually have your inventory cost you nothing. You stock up your truck, stock up your shelves. There's this stuff that people don't want to tell you, and there's a better way to do it. But we want you to learn how to do this in a really, really powerful way where you're actually able to we call it HVAC Team Delta because, I come in, I'm focused on massive efficiencies, being fulfilled, something, instead of saying, what do I do today? Understanding who am I going to be and why does it matter? What's my outcome and what's my plan of action? We called it a pop block. What's my purpose? What's my outcome? What's my plan of action? And every day you come in and we give you a set of rituals you do every day where you're like, oh my God, we're going to have confusion every day. So at HVAC Team Delta, this program that we've created, Jason and I have decided to put our heads together, put our teams together, put our experience together, and actually give you a high-speed version. 90 days from now, you're talking about being on track for in hours of going through the process of HVAC Team Delta. You're going to change the way you look at your business forever. Start taking Fridays off. You can start it's a complete change. And I guess my primary reason for saying this is that you don't have to wait a long time to make these changes. You don't have to remain frustrated and stressed, and you don't even need to do a bunch of things that you don't know how to do. You just understand what gets you to take these steps. Give yourself some space to have a life, and your whole experience in your business will change. Maybe you want to take a second, Jason, and talk about the mission that we're on here and why you wanted to build HVAC Team Delta.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on it before, is to help as many people as we can, and to, after I sold my business and I've been through the ringer a little bit, it's to find out how great life can actually be and how you can enjoy waking up in the morning and not worrying about what got screwed up the day before, or being able to set your phone down for 3 hours and go for a walk and spend time with your family and not worry about it. So I've experienced this awesome shift, and I would love for 40 million other people to experience that awesome shift, because it's a really cool shift, and there's just some great things that happen in life that, to be very blunt and honest, you don't even know about. So I've went through it myself, and I'm in the happiest place in my life. I'm physically and emotionally, I'm happier than I've ever been in my life, and I would love to help other people get to that place.
Yeah. There's a lot of trickle effects. So you look at, we call it the 5 forces at the Minimalist CEO, but it's mind, body, spirit, relationships, and business. And I need to run my business and make sure my technicians are busy. So getting those worries, instead of dumping that cortisol into your body where you feel that anxiety, being able to say, you know what? As I'm building my business, I'm getting healthier. Maybe I can avoid divorce, or if I've gone through it, I can build a strong relationship where I am right now. We had, of the 9 calls we've had, I know the last 6, everyone's like, well, I'm going away for the weekend with my girlfriend. And these are guys in their late 40s, 50s, and even 60s. All 6 of them were divorced and have been through that. I've been through it. Jason's been through it. And to build a strong relationship, that's a part of understanding, part of this HVAC Team Delta mission. So listen, we just want to help you out. We're doing this podcast episode as an announcement, but also hopefully it gets your wheels turning that, listen, helping people, getting on purpose is the primary driving force of what we're on this earth to do. And when the day's going to come, we're all going to be in a box or maybe a little urn of some sort.
That's right. And
it's all going to be over. And we'll, imagine what are people going to have to say about you and about this journey along the way. So I'm psyched, man. I'm psyched with what we're building, Jason. I think you're doing something that's brilliant. I've been a coach and a mentor full-time since 2007. I've been building businesses since 91, 16 years old. And I could tell you story after story. As a matter of fact, we'll come back. We'll have more episodes where I'll tell more stories about all different industries and the challenges they're having because of this obsession with like AI, making more money. How am I going to make this work? How am I going to figure this out? And really what's happening is there's this sort of obsession with things that in the end won't matter.
That's right.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add?
Not much. Just aim to have a positive group of people saying goodbye to you when you're gone and not a bad word said.
Yeah, because a bag of money ain't going to make a difference. All right. I don't know if you've ever seen Liam Neeson in Taken, but collectively we're on a mission. We had a note of our identity here is HVAC Team Delta. It's like we're special forces operatives right now. We're bringing together some of the biggest minds in the industry, amazing team members. If you've been watching the buzz going on, we got someone who built one of the largest home services businesses in the world who is now on our team and taking part in this. More information on that coming up soon. But Liam Neeson says in Taken, I've got a very specialized set of skills. You're trying to take my life from me. You're trying to take my family from me. You're trying to take someone who I love from me. Well, I will look for you. I will hunt you down. I will find you, and I will kill you. That's what he says. Now, we're not going to kill you, but we're going to kill this nonsense story that says, I have to live bullshit, stress all the time, and anxiety. And join us on this mission. We'll help you out. We got a way to get involved with this. Yeah. Listen, this isn't a sales pitch. If you're going to sell yourself anything, I would sell yourself on the idea that everything that you need to get your HVAC company where you want it, you already have it. We're just building something to help you unlock it. So I know this isn't your traditional podcast episode.
That's right.
But, ask us questions. Say, hey, what does this all mean? Say, if someone else calls you and says, hey, there's this shiny thing over here about how to improve your business systems and run better ads and spend more money, we'll show you how you can spend less on ads, cut your budget in half, trust yourself, build trust with your team, and then the community will start to trust you and enjoy the damn process.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. It's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, might as well. Jason, thanks for being on the episode, man. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you very much. Thanks for joining us at the Minimalist CEO podcast. We'll have a lot more stories, a lot more connection. Again, email us at freedom@HVACTeamDelta.com. Lots of exciting things coming up. You can always visit HVACTeamDelta.com as well if you want to go start to poke the box and see what you can do. Now's the time. No time like the present.
That's right. You're going to love it.
We'll be back. Again, this was episode number 41 of the Minimalist CEO podcast, and you're going to hear a little bit about we call them a sponsor, Bone Frog Warrior, but we support fallen Navy SEALs through actually bringing the story of the Bone Frog Warrior onto our show as a sponsor. Of course, we sponsor that sponsorship, and what they do is send us cool coffee and cool shirts, and we make changes in their lives. We're hoping to have Jeff on the podcast very shortly to tell his story about him, his friends. So if you're in the military service, thank you for your service. We'll do everything we can to help share your story and being a part of that. So thanks for being on the show. We'll come back and check with you soon. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you all soon. Hey, I hope you loved this episode of the Minimalist CEO podcast. Really excited that you're here. So now just a few things before we wrap up. Just a reminder that our show is absolutely committed to helping children, families, and veterans in need. So when you subscribe, you share it, you get involved, our goal is to raise tens of thousands of dollars for these causes. And when you subscribe, that helps out. Also, all the ticket sales from our events and for the Minimalist CEO will go to all the charities that we support. And to make this journey as valuable for you as possible, we've created a weekly email called One Focus Friday. That's going to give you immediate tips on what we're cutting away to win, as well as access to bonus materials, tools, and opportunities such as show recaps with key action items and takeaways that you can implement fast. Minimalist Mindset Boot Up, which is a quick and easy action step to start your week off right. And also the Eureka Moment, what's working in our business and in our clients' businesses and what's not. So please go hit the subscribe button on your podcast app of choice and become a part of this game-changing movement of doing less, achieving more, and living fully. And by all means, connect with me, Nate Lindquist, and the team at The Minimalist CEO. That's at The Minimalist CEO on Facebook. Thanks again.